Hello students, today in this video lecture we are going to cover the poem Next Please by Philip Larkin. It is a poem which has been taken from his collection The Less Deceived. In this poem, Larkin shows a bleak reflection of life, which is basically bleak would mean life which has lost all hopes, a kind of pessimism and negativity in the life. So he shows a bleak reflection on life and the inevitability of death, that ultimately man has to face death, whatever his present or his future be. In this poem, the poet also explores the fact that man spends most of his life thinking about what is going to happen next in future. What is the next thing that will occur to him? And in the expectancy of future, he loses the sense of the present. So instead of enjoying his present and living his present, man is always thinking about what is going to happen next. So first of all, we are going to discuss the structure of the poem. Firstly, as told before, the poem is a part of the poetry collection The Less Deceived. The title of the poem is definitely very interesting. It says Next Please. It shows the impatience of seeing what comes next in the future. So man basically is impatient. Next, what is next? Not what is now. So man does not focus on now, he rather focuses on next. And in looking at next, he forgets the now. So he shows impatience of seeing what comes next in the future. It is the habit of man to expect much from the future, often ignoring what he has in the present. So I told you that this poem talks of a human being's tendency to expect. The poem has 6 stanzas with 4 lines each. So 6 stanzas. The 4 lines are basically 2 couplets, as the rhyme scheme also shows it is A B B, so it is couplets. There is a reference in the poem that we must know in order to understand. Reference means the poet has taken some information from either a historical fact or some kind of a literary work or some kind of a figure in the past. So here the poet has taken a word armada. This is actually the Spanish Armada. It was a fleet of naval ships which was launched against England. So Spain launched a fleet of ships against England. It was a war which was going on. The fleet was called Armada and it was considered to be invincible. Of course, you know what the meaning of invincible is. Invincible is something that cannot be, or somebody that cannot be defeated. The Spanish Armada was so popular because of its strength. वो इतनी ज्यादा लोगों में उसका डर था कि वो बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग फ्लीट ऑफ शिप है, उसे कोई हरा नहीं सकता. But the sparkling fleet met disastrous defeat. But when the fleet of ships they came to England, they were defeated badly by the English. And you can say that the expectancy that the people of Spain had from the ships called Armada, the expectancy it failed badly. Reason, the ships were defeated in England. So, because of the disastrous defeat, just like the romance of the Armada was shattered, soon human hopes for the future are shattered too. So, the poet basically compares the human hopes फॉर वॉट इज गोइंग टू हैपन इन द फ्यूचर। हम इंतजार करते रहते हैं कि फ्यूचर में क्या होगा, हम उम्मीद लगाकर बैठते हैं, जैसे कि स्पेन के लोग अरमाडा से उम्मीद लगाए बैठे थे कि ये तो कभी हार ही नहीं सकती, तो जीत हमारी होगी। लेकिन जिस तरह वो अरमाडा हार गई, उसी तरह इंसान जो उम्मीदें लगाता है फ्यूचर से, वो भी बहुत जल्दी टूट जाती हैं। दे आर शैटर्ड। Of course, you know what the meaning of shattered is. They are broken and the future becomes nil. The future becomes zero. This reference you will find when we start reading the poem. Moving on, we have the poetic devices. The first poetic device is the metaphor. The entire poem is an extended metaphor of ships in the distance representing an idealized future. Idealized means a future which can be worshipped, a future which can be considered perfect and flawless. So man is actually hoping that a perfect future is coming. आ रहा है, अभी आ रहा है, आने वाला है, आने वाले दिन एकदम perfect होंगे, flawless होंगे. They will be so beautiful. They can actually be worshipped like God. So it is an extended metaphor. Extended metaphor means it takes place throughout the poem. So throughout the poem, right from the beginning till the end, the metaphor of the ships, it continues. The poet is always talking in terms of the ships coming. The ships are coming, but actually he is talking about the future. So the ships and the future are compared to each other and it becomes a metaphor. Here, because we talk of the ships, we again talk of the Armada. Armada is the metaphor for the much awaited sparkling future. Just like the Armada was a fleet of sparkling ships. Similarly, we think that our future will also be sparkling. Black sailed ship and birdless silence. These are again metaphors. This black sailed ship is a metaphor for death. Silence also is a metaphor for death. Then holding wretched stalks. This again is a metaphor for disappointment. Just like we hold stalks, in the sense stalks means this is a kind of a branch. जैसे हम कहते हैं डूबते को तिनके का सहारा, तो एक डूबता हुआ व्यक्ति तो तिनका भी पकड़ लेता है, कोई ब्रांच पकड़ लेता है पेड़ की, कोई बहती हुई डाली पकड़ लेता है, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली वो डाली या वो तिनका उसे बचा नहीं पाता. एंड सो होल्डिंग अ स्टॉक इज अ मेटाफर फॉर disappointment. Heaving and unloading, arrival of good fortune. So when a ship arrives, people unload it. सामान उतारा जाता है. Stuff is taken out of the ship and it is unloaded on the port. So arrival of good fortune is being compared to stuff being unloaded from the ship. तो शिप आ गई और उसमें से हम अपना फ्यूचर उतार रहे हैं, कुछ इस तरह से ये कंपैरिजन बनता है. Enjambment. Enjambment is a poetic device which you will continuously find in all the poems by Philip Larkin. He deliberately, वो जानबूझकर क्या करता है, he keeps on continuing his meaning from one line to another, from one stanza to another. He does not give a break in between. So that continuity of meaning from one line to another, especially when the stanza changes, that is called enjambment. So just like in this poem, last line of first stanza, it continues in the first line of second stanza. So if this is the last line of first stanza, ये पहले stanza की last line है, इसके बाद ये अगला stanza शुरू हो गया, तो meaning यहाँ खत्म नहीं होगा, meaning will continue. So this continuation of meaning is called enjambment. It happens in the first stanza, second, fourth, and fifth. Alliteration. Alliteration, I have explained to you the meaning of this poetic device earlier also. Alliteration means when the initial sounds in words are repeated. As you can see in the same line, flag, figurehead, fur, breed or break, bur. So the initial sounds are repeated. This is alliteration. And here, with this slide, we begin with the text of the poem. यहाँ से हम poem शुरू कर रहे हैं. The poet says, always too eager for the future, we pick up bad habits of expectancy. Here you can see how we expectancy day say. So A B B. This is one stanza. Couplet, couplet. This is how it moves. In the whole poem, in every stanza, this is how the poet is going to move. Always, he says, always too eager for the future, we pick up bad habits of expectancy. हमारी बड़ी बुरी आदत है. Here, when he says we, he is actually talking of human nature. This is human nature, he says, that we are too eager for the future. We are looking forward to the future. And we eagerly expect, we eagerly expect and hope for the next. What is going to come next? And this, the poet says, is a really bad habit. And there are many reasons that this habit is bad, because ultimately, according to the poet, our hopes that we have from the future, our hopes from the future are going to be shattered. So here you can say that in the poem, the poet shows a kind of pessimism, a kind of nihilism. What is the meaning of nihilism? When somebody believes that ultimately everything is going to end, सब कुछ खत्म हो जाएगा, बर्बाद हो जाएगा. That is nihilism. Pessimism, to think negatively. So they are almost one and the same thing. So this is the kind of emotion that the poet shows, depicts, that future will come, but the future will really not be how we hope it to be. So the poet actually shows a sense of hopelessness regarding the future. So in the whole poem, we will see him giving us these vibes that things are really not going to be how we expect them to be. So expectancy is a bad habit, he says. He says something is always approaching every day. Till then we say, and if you can see here, the meaning does not end at the word say, it continues in the next stanza. But first of all, something is always approaching. कुछ ना कुछ हमारी जिंदगी में आ ही रहा है. This you know that something is really going to happen. So man is always in a state of tension. It is a kind of an anxiety that man is always feeling, because he feels that something is always coming up, something is always approaching every day. Till then we say, watching from a bluff the tiny clear sparkling armada of promises draw near. So here bluff refers to a cliff. हम ऊपर खड़े दूर समुंदर में बहुत छोटी सी, of course when the ship is approaching and it is at quite a distance, it appears to be very tiny. So he is giving us the image of a ship, which is yet very far away. So we cannot clearly see what ship it is, but we know that some ship is coming, and we hope that it is the sparkling armada. This is the metaphor that we have already discussed, and we also have discussed the reference. What was actually armada? We have already discussed this, and he says this is the armada of promises. What is the meaning of promise? Promise here means the hope that future brings, the wishes that we have hold from the future. So basically, the poet is saying that, we are standing on a cliff. He is giving us this beautiful image of a person standing on a cliff and looking at the sea in a distance and watching a tiny ship coming towards him. And that tiny ship, he just hopes. He really cannot see it clearly. It is not very clear. He says he just hopes that this is a sparkling, beautiful ship of the promises that the future holds for him. How slow they are. See how he writes this exclamation mark here, and see the sentence that he has chosen. Just like, when we are hoping for something and we say, अरे कितना टाइम लग रहा है, जल्दी क्यों नहीं? जैसे एक छोटा बच्चा गिफ्ट खोलना चाहता है और बस उसे लगता है कि जल्दी से क्यों नहीं वो गिफ्ट उससे मिल जाता और वो उसे खोल लेता. That anxiety, a kind of enthusiasm, and it is mixed with frustration also. What is the reason for the frustration? Because he has waited for so long, and his ship, which is the ship of his future, it is really so slow in coming to him. उसको लगता है कि उसका future एक बहुत खूबसूरत future उसके पास बस आने ही वाला है, but it is really not coming fast enough. How slow they are, and how much time they waste, refusing to make haste. Here, I would like to draw your attention to this phrase, wastage of time. Here, it is so ironical. It is ironical that man thinks that the future is wasting his time, but the man, it is actually the man who is wasting his present in expectation of the future. So he is really himself guilty of wasting the present, but he says they are wasting time. The future is wasting my time. The ships are wasting my time because they are not making haste. Haste means they are not being quick enough. So they are not showing any speed. They are just wasting my time. Moving on to the third stanza, the poet says, yet still they leave us holding wretched stalks of disappointment. When the poet talks of disappointment, it is like the poet is breaking the ideal dream of the future by describing the harsh reality, and the harsh reality is very disappointing. So basically he says, yet, हिंदी में yet को हम कहेंगे लेकिन. लेकिन एक बहुत बड़ा शब्द है. लेकिन जब लेकिन कहा जाता है तो वो बहुत ज्यादा डिसअपॉइंटमेंट शो करता है. हम एक्सपेक्ट कुछ कर रहे थे लेकिन कुछ और हो गया. That is why the poet begins this stanza with yet, because in this stanza he is really going to focus on the disappointment. He says, we were waiting for that armada to come, yet still they leave us holding wretched stocks of disappointment. The armada doesn't come to us. We are only left with disappointment. And we have already done this metaphor. For though nothing balks each big approach, leaning with brasswork pricked, each rope distinct. Here it is important to know the meanings. First of all, the meaning of the word box, and I'm just going to write here. Balk means to hesitate. Here it means to stop. And what is the poet saying? For though nothing balks each big approach, nothing stops each big approach of the ship of our dreams. We don't try to stop the dream in our mind. The dream of what? The dream of the big approach of our future. So everything is in our mind. हमारी imagination में ही सब कुछ है और हम उसे रोकने की स्टॉप करने की कोशिश नहीं करते हैं. It is a big approach. We are hoping that future will be a very grand affair. The future is going to be really grand. The future is going to bring something great. But of course, nothing like that is going to happen. But we let our imagination free. In these three lines, the poet is just telling us, the poet is just making clear that it is we who start thinking of the future in a grand way. We imagine our future to be something which is full of grandeur, which is full of something big. And he says, nothing balks each big approach, leaning with brasswork pricked, each rope distinct. Now, what is the meaning of the word pricked? Pricked usually is when kind of when a woman does makeup. So she kind of adjusts it, और she just makes herself up again. जैसे कि आप मिरर में अपना मेकअप थोड़ा सा ठीक करते हैं, so we make it proper again, making it proper. So you can say adjusting makeup or making it even more beautiful, proper. So we imagine our ship to be very beautiful. We imagine our future to be very beautiful with shining brass work. What is brass work? जो ship के ऊपर ornamentation होती है, ornamentation और decoration on the ship. क्योंकि शिप तो बहुत रिच है, ये कोई कार्गो शिप नहीं है, ये कोई ब्यूटीफुल सी शिप है फ्यूचर की. सो इट इज ऑर्नामेंटेशन ऑन द रिच शिप which is obviously done with brass. So he says the brass work is pricked, each rope distinct. So in our imagination we imagine every detail of the ship. और जहां जहां ship की बात हो रही है, obviously we are talking about the future. So in our mind we have imagined every small detail of the future. But he has already told us everything which we have imagined ultimately will turn into a disappointment. And he says, flagged and the figurehead wit, golden tits arching our way. And we imagine that it has flags on it. It has some beautiful sails, colorful flags, So our future the future of our imagination is really grand and rich with colorful flags. It is coming towards us and it has obviously golden decorations also. अभी उसने brass कहा था and now it is brass and golden decoration on the ship. And we imagine it arcing our way, coming our way, but unfortunately it never anchors, it never reaches our shore. हम जहां खड़े इंतजार कर रहे हैं वो शिप कभी पहुंचती नहीं है. इट इज नो सूनर प्रेजेंट देन इट टर्न्स टू पास्ट. वो फ्यूचर जिसकी इंतजार में हम कितनी देर खड़े थे वो प्रेजेंट कभी बनता ही नहीं. इमीडिएटली इट टर्न्स टू पास्ट. सो आवर फ्यूचर turns to past in a blink, he says. So this is really important, the idea that we think that we have imagined a grand future but we do not get the grand future. It is like a bitter realization. It is a bitter realization that the sparkling future that we had imagined, it has eluded us. It has eluded us. We never enjoyed our present. So this is the most unfortunate part, that we never enjoyed our present in awaiting the future. The reason is we were always looking for the next, and now everything has turned to past. So the poet says the present we have not enjoyed, the future never comes, and now everything has changed into the past. This is the greatest irony, this is the greatest loss that man suffers, that he cannot enjoy his present, he cannot enjoy his future, and soon everything turns into the past. And then he says, right to the last we think each one, right to the last we think each one will heave to and unload all good into our lives. So he says, right till the end, ant tak we think, we wait, that each one, that each coming day, we just wait for every coming day. What is every coming day? Every future day that is coming towards us, we hope that it will heave to, it will stop and unload its goods, it will unload its cargo. What is the cargo? The happy times, the beautiful future, whatever we had imagined, the cargo that the future ship was carrying for us. We just wait, हम इंतजार में ही रह जाते हैं कि अब आज नहीं तो कल, आज नहीं तो कल, कल नहीं तो परसों, नेक्स्ट कब वो शिप आएगी और अपना कार्गो हमारी जिंदगी में उतार कर जाएगी. वो कार्गो है क्या? वो खुशियों भरे पल जिनका हम बस सिर्फ इंतजार करते रह जाते हैं, जो उस शिप में लोड होके आ रहे हैं. लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली all we are owed for waiting so devoutly and so long, but we are wrong. He says we owe it. हमें लगता है कि हम ये deserve करते हैं. We deserve the future because we waited for it so patiently. हमने इतना इंतजार किया है, हमें लगता है हमें तो वो मिलना ही चाहिए, हम उसे डिजर्व करते हैं. So we really believe that we owed it for waiting so devoutly. Devoutly means we waited for it so desperately and so long, but we were wrong. लेकिन ultimately ऐसा होता नहीं है. What we were imagining never comes to us, and we realize that we were wrong. And now coming to the last stanza, he says only one ship is seeking us. Ultimately we realize, in the end we realize that the ship that we were waiting for never comes. Instead, another ship that we were not even expecting has arrived. So another ship has arrived. जिसकी हम इंतजार कर रहे थे वो तो आई नहीं, कोई और ही शिप हमारी जिंदगी में आ गई है. And he says this is a harsh reality. Only one ship is seeking us, and this is the truth for every human being. This is the harsh reality for every man, that the one ship which will definitely come is the ship of death. It is the ship of death. So the poet is basically talking of the inevitability of death. Death inevitable hai, it cannot be postponed, and it will come. That is the ship that will never fail to come. Only one ship is seeking us, a black sailed unfamiliar because we never imagined. तो वो हमें बड़ी अजीब लगती है, वो हमें बहुत स्ट्रेंज लगती है, क्योंकि हमने कभी उसके बारे में सोचा ही नहीं, इमेजिन नहीं किया. इट इज ब्लैक सेल्ड, एंड दिस इज द मेटाफर विच वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड. द ब्लैक सेल्ड शिप इज एक्चुअली डेथ टोइंग एट हर बैक, और वो कुछ कार्गो भी लेकर आ रही है. दिस इज द कार्गो विच शी इज कैरिंग. हम जिस कार्गो की इंतजार कर रहे थे, अच्छे दिन, खुशियों भरे पल, वो तो आए ही नहीं. इंस्टेड इट इज कैरिंग ऑन हर बैक, towing at her back, a huge and birdless silence. And what is this huge and birdless silence? वो शिप अपने साथ डेथ लेकर आ रही है. In her wake, what is the meaning of in her wake? Behind the ship. उस शिप के पीछे क्या है? जब शिप चलती है, बिकॉज ऑफ द मोशन, waves are created. Behind every ship, waves are created, but behind this ship there are no waves, there is no movement. क्योंकि डेथ जो होती है उसके बाद कोई मूवमेंट नहीं रह जाती. नो वाटर ब्रीड और ब्रेक, देयर इज नो ब्रेक in water, which means there is no movement in water. देर कोई हलचल नहीं होती इसके पीछे पानी में, क्योंकि ये डेथ की शिप है, और वो सारी की सारी हलचल, सारी की सारी जो लाइफ की मूवमेंट है वो अपने साथ ले जाती है, उसे खत्म कर देती है. इट जस्ट टेक्स अवे एवरीथिंग दैट इज मूविंग इन आवर लाइफ, बिकॉज इट हैज ब्रॉट डेथ with her. So I hope this metaphor of death is clear to you, and the black sailed ship, that is clear to you. So it is, in the end, the poet presents a very daunting, डरावना and terribly quiet image of death ड्रॉइंग नियर, अगर हम नेक्स्ट ढूंढ रहे हैं सो नेक्स्ट इज ओनली डेथ, ड्रॉइंग नियर every day. I hope this poem is clear to you, because this is where we end the poem. And thank you very much for watching this video.